Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Miss Liz Kate, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling?
I mean, I just don't
Chills.
I don't think I'll ever get through that trailer without crying. Julianne Moore gets me with that "I love you" line every single time.
It is a powerful trailer. And I mean, fans are going crazy, and even new people are going crazy. And I know you're going crazy. You should be excited because you're like in all through this thing. You're like,
thank you. I'm humbled. I'm very honored.
Throw up the picture. Throw up the photo. You're all through this thing. Look at you got it there. We got you there. We got you there. Tell me.
We had
when you look at this, the first image. What was going through your mind? Like, tell me what you think of when you see that image. Walk us through it.
Yeah, well, that day, let me think about which day that was. All of the days kind of go together when we're thinking about filming, but that day, we just to kind of talk about something funny that happened is we all had this school tray of lunch. Of just the cafeteria food, and it was just so nostalgic and took me back to high school. And in that moment, we were all laughing about the mystery meat that was sitting on our lunch tray. Yeah, so it was just it was so fun to film those scenes. So we just got to go back to high school for a few minutes, and we all thought that.
Did you get to eat any of it? Did you eat any of the food? Or throw it out?
The director, we had a conversation about the director, or with the director, Steven Chbosky, and he was like, yeah, try to eat some if you can. I mean, don't, they did such a great job of making sure everything was edible. But we had a conversation with him about the fact that we never see people actually eating in movies and films.
That's actually true. That's so
tried our hardest. We tried our hardest. I think I went through like 6 apples at a time. So we did eat.
So, yes. I want to talk to you about, because I know this is like your absolute first major breakout role in a major studio. So I want to ask you, you wake up the next day after getting this call or email, life-changing call. What goes through your head? When you wake up the next day, you get out of bed, I'm going to be in Dear Evan Hansen. What is that like?
Man, well, booking the role of Gemma on Dear Evan Hansen definitely hit different than anything else I've ever experienced.
I bet.
The first feeling I had was definitely relief. The audition and callback process is daunting, and there's so much competition out there. So when I try to audition, I do my best to kind of put it behind me so that the booking is a nice surprise. Yeah. But on this project, however, I think my feelings initially were just anxious based on the fact that COVID was rising, and I knew that one slip up could change everything. So after I got the call, I just immediately went into hermit mode even more and just like focused on staying safe and healthy prior to filming. So that's kind of what it's like.
But now, apparently this thing has such hype, and I want to thank you personally. And the reason I want to thank you is because I am a huge musical fan. And because of a mutual associate that we have, I had not ever heard about this before. And then when I heard about it through you, and I ran to it, I immediately loved it. I fell in love with it. Like, this might very well be one of my favorite musicals ever to date. Story-wise, music-wise. So did you know about this musical before you landed the role at all, or even introduced to the role?
Yeah, so I actually read Dear Evan Hansen just after I graduated high school. So I was headed to Nashville for college, and it helped me in a lot of ways process a lot of the feelings of being in a new city surrounded by new people.
Yeah.
And freshman year was just really lonely in a lot of ways, and I just wish
Mm.
that I had read it sooner. But now that Broadway is coming back and our new normal is kind of like underway, I'm excited to make plans to go see it
Yeah.
in person and visit some old friends in New York. So yeah, I
Yeah.
had read it before going into my freshman year, and it just changed my life, as so many stories can tell you as well
It,
as yours.
my,
Just changes
and,
everything for me.
it's hard to not feel something when watching this story. Even as lighthearted as it is, the story is just very relatable. I don't care how popular you are, we all felt that vulnerable at some point in our lives. But you mentioned that, Broadway musicals are coming back. This one in particular is coming back sometime in December, I believe, um,
Yes.
because the COVID situation is finally dying down. But you guys filmed most of this throughout the whole COVID situation. Even your audition process was during the COVID madness. Tell me about the process from auditioning during COVID to filming during COVID, nonstop.
Oh my gosh. Well, oh my gosh. Auditioning and working during COVID times has 100% been the most stressful thing I've ever navigated. But like, just imagine working, 2/3 of your life towards your craft, and then finally booking a dream role that aligns not only with your acting, but also with your music
Yeah.
as well. And then having the tornado that COVID is looming over your head, ready to just sweep it all away with one exposure or one test. But,
Yeah.
a roller coaster of emotions is very much putting it mildly. We all stayed very safe. We were one of the first productions actually that got through it, the whole thing.
Wow.
And we were kind of like the test dummies. And we did a test every single day, along with
Wow.
multiple tests a week that they sent in.
Ooh.
Before we even came onto set, we had to have like four or five within 1 week at one point. And it was crazy, but we were all so willing to do it because of this story. It's so worth it. So
I can't even imagine. Seriously, how scary, stressful is that? At any moment, this could all be gone. Like, were you guys even allowed to interact with one another, like between takes, or was it like shoot, cut, and then go to your corner?
yeah, no, it really was like that. We had to wear these. I wish I had one for visual reference, but we had to wear these shields that went around our neck, and it came up here because we had to have makeup on, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we had them on, and like we had to just be in this little bubble the whole time. And they were really careful though with all of the extras at every single scene. Like
wow.
they had to put their masks on and then take them off and then put them on really quick.
Oh
And
man.
it was chaos, but it was so worth it, and it was just definitely an experience that I will never forget. But yeah, the interaction, it definitely looked different, but we all
Yeah,
made it work. We still
yeah.
connected somehow. So
And working with the likes of like Ben Platts, Kaitlyn, Dever, and even Amandla, what was it like? How did they handle this? Like, did you all try to make it light of the situation? Did it make everyone feel comfortable? Because I know it was new for everyone. How
yeah,
was that?
yeah, working with the cast was just so inspiring. I mean, I always am looking to grow and learn from others, but Ben is just a full and complete ray of light, and Kaitlyn and
Yeah,
Amanda were just so sweet, and we shared in a lot of fun conversations despite the circumstances that were surrounding us. And honestly, everyone was just so professional and so kind. And I don't even know if there's like a word to capture the appreciation and gratefulness that I have for this project. It's just its story and the people attached to it. I'm just like so honored to be
yeah,
able to share in this collaboration of it all, and just humbled to know that there's so much more to learn from others. And being on set, it's really in general too, like it's really easy to get in your head and focus on what you have to
yeah.
do, but talking to other creatives and just observing their work ethic just kind of like lights a fire in me to keep creating and telling stories and just like changing lives. So being on set with them was just a dream, and everybody on set
That's awesome.
was just a dream. That's all I.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And I also know that with else comes with the COVID stuff is and trying to stay safe. There are also secrets that need to be kept. And now the cat is finally out of the bag, and we can talk about this and talk about that. Like, you're filming this thing and you're super excited. You can't talk about it with anyone. Probably the biggest opportunity ever. When you saw that trailer drop, it must have been like, oh, finally.
Yes, I got the text from my mom. She was like, "The trailer's out," and I was like, sigh of relief. But I was very surprised that they released it when they did, and I'm so
So
grateful.
no heads up at all?
No,
Wow.
no. Like, okay, here it is. And the turnaround time for that was so quick. I mean, continually impressed by Universal and by everybody that worked on this project. But I can't say much about like spoilers and secrets.
But we do know that we're playing Gemma. We're playing a new character who's not even in there originally from the musical, because based on IMDb, thank you IMDb. What can you tell us about this character?
Yeah.
Because she's very close with Zoe, Kaitlyn's character. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I can't say much about her, but as you may know already, she's Zoe's best friend, Kaitlyn. And I think it's safe to say that Gemma she's just a loyal and caring friend to Zoe and the Murphy family as well. And, truly we all need Gemma in our lives. So it was an honor to be able to play her. And I really believe that she's just someone who's there for you through it all. And she's just a ride or die. So it's really cool to see that element within all of the emotions of the film.
I feel like that's a lot more realistic than how the musical goes. Like, she would have a best friend or a bestie or a BFF on her side, someone she could confide in. So I can't wait to see what Gemma brings to the table and what kind of a ride or die she really is for Zoe, played by Kaitlyn Dever. But it is a musical, and you come from a musical background. That's where you started. You write music. You play the guitar. Is there a favorite song that in this musical that you just can't stop singing? So,
all of them. But
guilty.
Yeah. But it's gonna be really hard for me to select my favorite from the soundtrack. But I would say that Sincerely Me would have to be one of my favorites. I also obviously Love You Will Be Found. It gets me teary-eyed every single time that I listen to it. Can't listen to it without crying. But the soundtrack is just one that you can blast in your car and sing out loud and feel all the feelings. And
I agree.
I know you also know every word, Klepcx. So
I do.
I mean, you have some serious music skills. Maybe you can
Thank you.
spit a few bars for us.
Oh no! Once I start, we're not gonna stop, and I'll take up all the time. But I do have a few. I'll give you my two favorites. My favorite, For Forever, and Only Us. Only Us. Shout out to Benj, Pasek, and Justin Paul. They got the awards they deserve.
Listen, working with them, honestly, songwriter's dream. I was fangirling and still am. So
I bet
they're awesome.
Let's talk about that because it's a musical. What is filming a musical process like? Is it similar to a music video where you go in the studio and then you're on set? Same kind of vibe. Like, what is that process like from the studio to the screen?
Yeah. So, working in a studio on a soundtrack was super cool. I mean, very comfortable for me. I prepared ahead of time for my studio sessions with one of my coaches in Atlanta, Mama Jan. Shout out to her. I've worked with her since I was about 12. So I also did my normal session with my Nashville coaches, Vanessa and Jay. And there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes to prepare for studio to on screen. So working with the music team for Dear Evan Hansen was just, like I said, incredible. And I'm forever grateful for that experience. But I also attend Belmont University, so that's been really life-changing for my music as well, and so helpful to be prepared for this. Been doing music a long time, but getting out of my routine and shaking things up to come to Nashville was one of the best things I could have done prior to booking this, to allow me to be flexible. But I think that from the studio to screen, I mean, we all sang live on set, and so that can be really nerve-wracking. Yeah, we all sang live on set, and it was such a surreal experience. And I definitely learned so much from being able to do that. So it's going to be really special. They thought of all the different angles and all of the different things that they could do to just make it perfect. And so
wow. Now, did you see a difference in the recording process? Because we both have done music before. Did you see a difference in pace when you work pace? I'm saying when you go in the studio on your own doing your thing, and how these guys, was it bam bam, we got what we need, or was it a long drawn out process than what you used to?
Yeah, so I would say that it is very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, we had a lot of music rehearsals, probably 4 or 5 music rehearsals before we went into the studio and recorded. But once we got in there, it was like bam, bam, bam. Like we got it done. And one after the other, we got to do that. But we all are singing on the soundtrack, which is super exciting. And being able to, dope. Yeah, so cool. I still can't even believe it. I'm like, yeah, from there to being on screen and just the process of it all. And it was I would say that it's very similar to the way that I record myself, but being able to obviously work with the dreams that they are, it was just incredibly cool. So
and to go back to your music personally, you've been singing and playing the guitar since you were 5 years old? 5 years old. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, it must be by now. But so, what upcoming projects do you have coming up? Do you have anything you're working on? An album, maybe something we can look forward to?
I've got something going on in the kitchen for sure. I actually just finished the last of my writing sessions, and I'm getting ready to record my album in the next few weeks in Nashville, which is very exciting. Nice. I've been working with Vanessa Olivares, my Nashville coach, on writing for so long, and we finally feel like what we have is ready and a direct reflection of my style. It's definitely changed a lot over the years, but it's become Liz Kate now that I'm sitting in it. So I'm excited to share the music with everyone. But my lyrics and music have a strong emotional pull. My hope is that it just helps someone who's struggling or needing to feel up. So that's kind of like what I'm working on right now and what I got.
And that sounds really great. And it's good that you're touching, trying to convey messages, because although this is a musical and it's somewhat designed to make us feel good, at the same time touches very important topics. Some things I can't relate to, but most things most of us will relate to. What are some of the key topics that you hope that people take from this film and soundtrack, the music?
Yeah, so just the message of Dear Evan Hansen itself is going to help so many who are struggling. And specifically, the pandemic has certainly amplified the feeling of just being isolated or alone, and suicide rates in teens, unfortunately, are up due to it all. And that's something that needs to be talked about even more. And so being a teenager or even like an adult is hard already, and knowing that no matter what you're going through, there's someone there to help
Absolutely.
you. And there's always, no matter what you think, someone who's going through something similar, seeking out,
Absolutely.
seeking out that help and finding the way out of the darkness is possible. And I think that that's the message that this film really dives deep into. And that's so important, just those emotional and real topics. Like you said, we don't know the load others are silently carrying. And so I hope this movie brings awareness to mental health in just a larger conversation, because it's something that definitely needs to be talked about.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree. And I have one more last question for you, and this one's more of a gift for me to you, because I strongly believe that in speaking things into existence. So, and I'm extremely proud of you, and I'm happy you're getting your big break and getting your feet on the ground with this thing. Uh, it's a huge opportunity, and the world is going to be shocked. I know this is going to be a big thing. So I want to ask you, what do you have your eyes set on for the future? Like, what is something that you want to do? But instead of telling me what you want to do, I want you to say, I will finish the line.
So, okay. Something that I just have always been passionate about is writing, obviously songwriter, but I will direct some
Wow.
in the future
Whoa.
and share some of the stories I've been working on with the world. And I had a really fun audition yesterday, and have had some really great opportunities come along since booking Dear Evan Hansen. And we've been writing about something really cool, which I'm looking forward to getting out there. And I'm about to start some new improv training at the Groundlings, which is something that I'm so incredibly thrilled about, dipping my foot also into the comedy world, which is looking into. Yeah. And I'm headed back to Atlanta in a week or two, so I'll be switching up gears again. But yeah, I will direct in the future.
Yeah, you guys, you hear that? She will. And I'm surprised, because I know you're very passionate about music, and to say that you want to direct, listen, I'm behind you. Liz K's gonna direct, guys. Make sure you look out. When can we all expect to see your debut on the big screen? When is this film dropping?
September 24th.
September 24th, guys. That's right. Make sure you mark your calendars. Dear Evan Hansen, the film adaptation from the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical, starring Ben Platts, Kaitlyn Devers, Melendela Steinberg, and Liz Kate, and a bunch of amazing others.
So many talented people.
Liz, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk with us. It's been an honor. I wish you the best, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thank you, Klep. You are so awesome, and
Thank you.
You just kill it every time. So I am so honored to be here.
Thank you. There it is, guys. Liz Kate from Dear Evan Hansen. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank Liz for stopping by with us here at Critics Media and Klepcx FM. Listen, guys, you know how it is. Like, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe. And for more movie news, pop culture, television news, and our podcast, Critics Talk, and sometimes interviews. Guys, make sure you check out wearecritix.copm, and I will talk to you all later. Peace.